Greetings, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. Wow. It is March 23rd, 2023, and we have another 6-Minute Daily. We're broadcasting live on 4 different platforms. We have Twitter, Rumble, we have Odysee, and of course, YouTube. And for those of you who got here early, let's say hi to each and every one of you before we try to get through 20 stories in 6 minutes, and we have bonus time today. Oh, I love Thursdays. Super duper fun. Liger fan is here. Great to see you, my friend. And there is the Red Ranger saying, my friend keeps saying, cheer up, man. It could be worse. You could be stuck underground in a hole full of water. I know he means well. Captain Fandom Nerd is in the house. We've got Morgan King here. Professor Haitian Falarudo, Y Destroyer 3466V, the Adult Dragon Master 360 is here. There's the amazing wrench, Mr. Darren Hughes. Cat Sith is in the house saying, hello, hello, welcome to the house. The very talented Andy Masterson is here. We've got Kremlon, the Batcap. Looks like Elizabeth Young is here, as is a Randall Orser. TPC is here. The theme park casual, along with another amazing wrench named Lord Thoth. Very quick member chat from our good friend Morgan King, who's been a member for 11 months, says, introducing Culture Casino and a Mexican Iron Man new show at 11 Mountain Standard Time called Boo and Sabers. Can't say that word. Thank you for that. Oh, what else is going on? Oh, hey, there's Josiah Robinson, Snortopupus Cuber, and of course, the Union of Amateur Strategists, reminding us about bonus time. That's right. After we're done with the main show, we'll stick around, talk about more in-depth news of the day, whatever you guys want to chat about. Usually spend about an hour doing that. We've got Tender Warrior 68 here today. There's Rob Altus. Great to see you. Happy Friday for some, maybe, but technically it's Thursday still. We've got the Rogue Thinker here, of course, and Dapper Bard Games. Morning tea. Ooh, I have to have coffee. I know a lot of people don't like coffee. I like coffee. I'm weird. Let's see, who else rolled in the door? A lot of folks like Claude Sailing is here. We've got the Time Prophet here. There's Matt G. What's up, Matt G? Let's see. Larry, the name. So nice. You say it twice. Larry. Gunner is here. Shrap 3D is here. Spaceship Vampire is here. And Keck 44. Great to see you all this morning. Let's see who else rolled through the door. Many of you, including, I think I saw, Sean Estep. There you go. Commander Ed Straker of Shadow is here. And the Cheese Factor. I'm looking for somebody. Oh, D-Bud is here. What is up, D-Bud? Hope you're doing well. The amazing Master of Mods, the Mensch of Wrenches, Eric K. Sean Mountain is here. Good to see you, Sean. There's Darth Scipio. What's up? Chewbacca Culture Casino. Thank you for that. Maestro Chi is here. Atma Manesh is here. Great to see you, my friend. John Cipolla is here. Look at this. The Channel Surf is here, along with his amazing mustache. Dylan C is in the house. Great to see you. There's 11 Alpha. We've got a few other folks rolling in, like Izaj Melody and G-Dog. What's up? Who else is here? Critizable, the Rainbow Knight, Ironcaster, Ram Bam 3000, Dr. Bravo, and who else? Rod Thunderheart. That's right. Look at that, folks. Amazing. So as we are live now on Rumble, Twitter, YouTube, obviously, and Odysee, we need to go. What's up, Dadman Walking? Love it. Roll call indeed. Larry. Man Squatch. I updated the credits, but I didn't get a chance to add the name that you added yesterday, Captain Phantom Nerd. You like to keep me busy. But we'll get there. Fat Elvis is here. Smash that thumb. All right, 6 minutes starts now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are and whenever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6 Minute Daily. We have a lot to talk about, not a lot of time to do it in. I think there are 20 stories to get through, so I'm going to take a deep breath. Here we go. Let's start out here. CNN goes about announcing for maybe the third or fourth time that they are reorganizing their lineup. They're re-announcing this Anderson Cooper show for prime time on Sundays. I think I've told you about this at least 3 times, and they are very, very irrelevant right now. They have suffered a ratings collapse that I kind of put a video together for that never actually got released, but they are in a huge hole compared to even PMS NBC, which super sucks. We've got Disney layoff rounds likely to start before the annual meeting. That's right, April 3rd. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, but let me reiterate. There's going to be broad things happening here. Even a bloodbath, even before and after this annual meeting on the 3rd. You will not want to miss the fireworks associated with that. Victoria Alonso was clearly fired at this point, and there's a lot of reasons for it, mainly ineptitude when it comes to visuals for the most important thing that Disney had going for it, the MCU. Not to mention the fact that the messaging coming out of Disney right now is all very radical, and it's being widely rejected by a broad audience in all their properties. Talk about destroying everything at once. That is Disney right now. John Wick 4 originally had a much longer cut. The first cut of the film was 3 hours, 45 minutes. And of course, the reaction to that by Keanu was, we're so screwed. Nah, they fixed it. It's now down to about 3 hours. And guess what I am seeing today? Movie review shortly to follow. Semafor, the shill site, is planning an inaugural media summit with Chris Licht from CNN. There's somebody I would be talking to. Jen Psaki, the communist hat-wearing former press secretary for the current administration. Barry Diller, who is actually kind of an interesting media mogul, and many others, including the soon-to-be-fired, most possibly, Stephen A. Smith. We'll move on from that to Hollywood courts. Wall Street's ESG investors. They're doubling down on it, folks. More radical thoughts for you following the ESG baloney sausage. You have the Writers Guild doing a complete about-face when it comes to AI, saying now they will prohibit it. Remember the story I reported yesterday? This is how quickly they got turned around. They got a lot of negative backlash about the fact that they were going to support the co-authoring by AI. I wonder who fought back there. We've got Star Wars getting Stephen Knight to come in and replace Lindelof and Britt Gibson for this upcoming Star Wars film. Yay for Rey, right? We have book ban attempts hitting an all-time high based on the number of radical pieces of literature that are hitting the bookshelves aimed at young people talking about things that parents are very uncomfortable with. And they're complaining like this is, not to be expected. Credit Suisse deal did avert a crisis, but not a Fed hike for the Swiss government. They actually raised their interest rates in response to this bank near collapse. The Fed raised their key rate a quarter point, not as high as I was anticipating. I thought they'd go a half a point, but a quarter point up is what it is. And if they set in at the target of 5.25%, which some people seem to believe, I think you're wrong. I think it'll go higher than that. I think they'll continue to do quarter point raises for quite some time. They really have put themselves in quite the box. You've got the UK central bank following up with their own rate hike, so that's not good. And of course, the EU is doing the same thing. You also have stocks kind of bouncing back to just, still short of their highest point yesterday. Yesterday, as I predicted, things went sideways. They may yet again. This is not going to be a week to remember in the markets. We have Ford saying that, their EV unit must be treated like a startup because it's losing billions of dollars. That's what you want to hear when a company like Ford is having all of the problems that they're having already. Stack the EV issues on top of it. Not a profitable venture. You have, well, this particular person's approval numbers well below their highest point, indeed, and just slightly north of their lowest point so far, dipping once again in a new poll. Not surprised here. You have TikTok CEO facing off with Congress, obviously, over the security fears. And of course, they line up a bunch of TikTok influencers there, all the shills, trying to protect the platform they are on, which I understand. But to a certain extent, you can't compromise national security. China's actually criticizing the U.S. on possible plans to force a TikTok sale, meaning ByteDance would have to relinquish, which means the CCP would lose control. You have a heavily indebted Chinese developer, Evergrande, which we've talked about here on this program. Well, they're trying to restructure $300 billion in debt. And finally, the last thing here I didn't get on the screen, unfortunately, is that the Supreme Court is currently chewing on a case that involves Jack Daniels and a latex dog toy that looks like Jack Daniels in an obvious, well, parody. And they have a whole line of these toys. It's crazy. This is a very ridiculous thing. And of course, the company that's trying to defend this is, well, they're probably right. But at the same time, they did use somebody else's well-known design. And with that, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And don't forget, we have bonus time.
Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.
These are my members. Thank you. You can be one too. It's really easy. Hit the join button here on YouTube. If you're watching on another platform, from what I'm to understand, there will be options to do that later. I need to grow over on Rumble. So if you're not watching me on Rumble, watch me on Rumble. This is day 2 on Rumble doing a live stream. Pretty excited. It's pretty interesting. We've also got, obviously, a live stream on Twitter. Going to go long on Twitter too. And of course, Odysee, where I've been for quite some time. Although supposedly it still says that I'm on the Tuesday tirade over there. All right. I really wish that these newer streaming entities would adopt the idea that you can have a permanent stream key and run different shows and things through it all the time. That'd be fun. Also, I would love for them to be able to translate all of the information that I already put in YouTube. But hey, I'll jump through the extra hoops for a while. All right, folks. Bonus time. All right, let's clean this up and get to it. I'm not sure what you guys want to talk about today. I've got a video hopefully coming out later today about the stuff with a broader issues with Star Wars, which is beyond obviously anything else that Disney's dealing with. And it's not just Star Wars. I mean, they're dealing with lots and lots of problems. Also, I am going to be seeing John Wick today. Many people are. I will be trying to race to get a out of the theater review done. Of course, we're definitely going to talk about that on Comics Division's Thursday Throwdown tonight. And we'll probably have some very interesting conversations prior to all of that, and pretty close to when the show ends, over on Mr. H's channel. So be on the lookout for the H cast on Mr. H reviews shortly after this show. He's been making some incredible videos. He's put up a bunch of clips on his clips channel. So he's been doing a great job. For those of you on Rumble, like Union, I appreciate you being here. It does say 6 minutes over there. I did have to actually there's a lot of hoops to jump through to make these things work. But for those of you watching out there, thanks for your support. If you're on Twitter, I have no way to know. I don't even know how. I know that my Twitter stream went out on yesterday, and I know there were more views than I anticipated because I'd never really announced anything over there. But we've got a lot going on. We got some folks that rolled in the door, like Nearsighted is here. We got DS Ford, I don't think I got to acknowledge. Brightest Days here. Many of you folks, thanks for being here. I appreciate you all. Especially those of you I don't see as often as I used to because you're working. Mod Eric K is over there. Good to see you on Rumble as well, my friend. And as soon as I figure out how to add mods on the Rumble side, I will. All right. Look, the dog toy story was kind of funny. I thought that was an interesting one. I saw it yesterday, but I didn't jump into it. But I've talked at length about some of the weird shenanigans that go on when it comes to the markets in China and the issues that they've had as far as financial instability problems. They've got a lot of broader issues than that. And if you look at somebody like Peter Zehan and many others, and if somebody introduced me to a channel called Business Basics, which focuses in on China, you'll understand that there is some cause for concern there for a lot of reasons. And they could actually spark a global collapse financially. In fact, that's the most likely scenario. The thing that I've been talking about trying to bring to the table is this really big problem over there with the debt for this giant developer. This giant developer over there has $1 trillion plus in investment. They're like 1.3 trillion into this thing. They don't have that many assets, so they're 300 billions in debt. They're not anywhere close to getting all that paid for. The Chinese government stopped backstopping them. You have one of them that completely collapsed, a developer completely collapsing fairly recently. And if you aren't aware, what happens in China is they build a bunch of buildings and apartments and all that because it's one of the ways that you can demonstrate that you have financial means is by owning apartments, houses, whatnot, which are just basically square boxes over there, and that's how you demonstrate that you have means. It's what makes you appealing, and you have really no other place to put your money that is going to increase in value there, from what I'm to understand. So a lot of people put their money in these real estate investments. So this particular developer is trying to manage this developers trying to manage this $300 billion in debt. And they have put forward a plan to restructure what it owes to foreign bondholders. Do you know who some of those people are? Of course you do. You have both BlackRock, Blackstone, and many of these other entities who in turn are also having their own financial trouble. I think I mentioned the other day that both Blackstone and BlackRock were essentially in default on a couple of their REIT funds. That's real estate investment trust. You're seeing this now as a much broader issue, and there's real concern here. Evergrande's struggles have prompted fears about possible shockwaves in the global. I can't speak today. Global financial system. Yes, that's very true. This is a real concern, and it should be. We should be paying very, very close attention to this and what it means to the world. But it's also going to affect a lot of these radical companies that promote this incredibly destructive ESG concept that they've been shoving down your throats, and that basically the current administration codified into law, I think, if not yesterday, day before yesterday. So we've got a real problem. And Fat Elvis's paper tiger, yeah, kind of at the moment. I'm very, very worried about that. How on earth do you get 300 billion in debt? Pretty easily. I mean, if you control assets over $1 trillion, it's pretty easy to do. The foreign bondholder plan that they're talking about is really only going to cover about $20 billion in foreign investors. So essentially, they're going to trade bonds. So you're not really being bailed out. There's just a new set of bonds that are going to be issued to cover this. They're trying to indicate this is progress. This is helpful. I don't see it. It's crazy. Hey, what's up, TZ Burton? Good to see you. There's a lot of bought and paid for out there, my friend. But you know what? It's being reflected, honestly, in the popularity of this administration, and that directly comes down to one person right now. And again, I don't usually often dive too deeply into this, but we will take a look at the approval rating here. And this is funny because if you look at this compared to somebody else who is under threat of indictment right now, this thing is falling off a rock. Biden approval dips near lowest point. Yeah, it's almost there already. It's like within a point of being the lowest point. It's pretty crazy. Right now it sits at 38%. 38%. not good. I think it's 1% higher than the lowest point. He's been hovering around 40%, which it's still shocking to me. With the performance of everything in this country, financially and everything else, there's real issues. And David Park asks, wait, BlackRock invests in China? Yeah, lots of money. Lots and 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 lots of. Not just them. A lot of people have financial investments tied up in Chinese investments, specifically real estate. That's for real. And again, you're looking at REITs that both Blackstone and BlackRock are in default on right now. I think there's even a special version of like receivership or something going on with one of the two entities. Blackstone's in a little bit bigger trouble from what I've read recently, but they both are in default. I mean, Blackstone, I think it's like 270 million. 270 million. Yes. And Blackstone is like just under $100 million in upside down in one of their things. They're not really upside down. They just haven't maintained their debt. Yeah. But 40% is not good. There is a chart attached here, which I thought would be fun to look at. If you look at it, based on political party, you can kind of see where the dividing line is here. There we go. This is the actual poll. You have people starting with the inauguration, 97% of the blue line drops down to 76%. It has been as low as 65%. It may dip even lower. Hillis Mallory drops a super chat over here. Let me see if I can pull that up. Please bear with me a moment, folks. Hillis Mallory says, why Biden's approved is still in double digits. I don't even know. I know that independents have him very south of 50%. Obviously, the red line has always been well below that. So you have basically 2/3 of the country that aren't digging the jam here. But it's a pretty decent chunk of humans that, on this blue line that are still somehow enamored with the slide that they've been experiencing. You're starting to see it in real time, but I have no idea. Phyllis Mallory, I can't answer that question. Pinochet's helicopter tours arrives late and says, CC, I'm late. Did you go over the Midnight's Edge Cameron video? I've seen it. Or at least part of it. I don't think I got to finish it. I think I ended up having to pop on another stream or meeting or something yesterday. But it wouldn't surprise me, knowing what I know from behind the scenes of things that have been passed back and forth amongst us, that there may be more heads rolling over there at Disney. Sorry, I'm jumping between subjects, but it's a member chat, so I try to respond to this pretty quickly. It's very strange, but we may see more well-placed individuals within the company be sacrificed as well, and that's the proper term, to be honest with you. It breaks it down by political party. Obviously, they break it down by gender. Notice how even the AP has just men and women. I'm just reporting the news from a supposedly authoritative site. But you can see it's dipped dramatically below the 50% mark. These are the only races that matter to the AP. I don't know, but you're seeing everybody's opinion of Biden start to fall. It's interesting that the black population is polling over 50%. I imagine that won't stay that way very much longer. He is kind of being revealed through his past statements and acts for what he is. Age is the really strange thing. If you look at it, it tracks very much below. So it's like, if you look at it that way, there's really only a little bit of support in one particular group that's artificially elevating these numbers. And they've got to be obviously younger folks helping to trend this much higher. Very strange, but that's not really that important. Let's see. This lawsuit is no small thing, and I doubt it will easily be swept under the rug. Yeah, that is a major factor for Disney. Sorry, this is part of the Disney conversation for Lucasfilm, and we'll finish reading it real quick. But when Iger is ordering a full audit of Lucasfilm Limited financial books, it's serious. Well, it's not. Can I say this without getting people in trouble? It's not just them that's being audited inside the company. They're looking at a lot of different things inside the company, and they're in big trouble regardless. Lucasfilm is not the only one that has overstated revenue. You've seen lots of adjustments in production budgets being reported or adjusted recently from films that were out 5 years ago or more. I mean, even the rinse of soybeans is you're going to start seeing adjustments in its production costs, et cetera, publicly. There's a lot of stuff going on. You guys are calling out the AP. That's funny as heck. It's very strange. And again, look, my political affiliation doesn't align with either side. But oftentimes I'm forced to one particular direction, and there is always something to be said for the lesser of two evils. I would just like the best possible human on the planet to be in every position of power. But we don't have that in this system. We have political candidates that are essentially sponsored by organizations. We need to start revealing that to the public. So Open Secret and a few other places are going to expose people in various ways to what they are and who sponsors them. And I think you can largely see who's wearing pharmaceutical sponsorships right on their suit jackets at this point. But anyway, it is what it is. Hey, Stunt Brat, what's going on? Good to see you. But this lawsuit is for real, and we will bounce to that story. Like I said, I have a video coming up to talk about some of these things, at least for the Star Wars side of stuff. But this person is in charge of a lot of visual effects, and I always bring it back to the MCU because it's the last thing that's a positive or was a positive for Disney up until the last 4 films, and here you are. And again, she's in charge of what you see on the screen, visual effects wise. It's not good. Unlike maybe Star Wars and Mandalorian, most of that's somewhat passable, despite the fact that they're, reusing sets that are somewhat recognizable in certain scenes. But, the stuff that they're shooting in the volume is okay. The on location stuff is probably the most compelling. I have to tell you, I've not been impressed with the last couple of episodes I haven't been impressed with any of the Mandalorian this season, but I haven't been really impressed with what they've done. That should be called Side Quest, the series. I can talk at length about that. And then I now have a new name for Star Trek Picard season 3. It's Meaningless Member Berries. That's what the show is, as it slow rolls through all the old TNG cast, which is really what it's got going for it. There is a compelling story there. They didn't lean deeply enough into in this most recent episode into what the trope was going to be, and it could have been a lot more enjoyable. But be prepared, folks. Be prepared. Let's see what you guys have to say. Thank you, Union of Amateur Strategists. Thank you very much for being here and for modding and everything else. You're awesome. I would like fewer positions of power. I would like people to not be in positions of authority that are unelected. I'm tired of unelected bureaucrats having way too much power. We are heading to Dark Horizons. I think you'd be surprised, but it always looks bleakest before the dawn. So there you are. So the director of Velma got a visit to the White House. Clown rolled. Yeah, we covered that yesterday with Mindy Kaling's Presidential Medal of Bologna Sausage. think I talked about that. Mando is just bad. Yes, not good. It does look very cheap, which is weird. Also, I agree with Paul Chatto. If you guys don't follow Paul Chatto on any of the video platforms, you should. Specifically YouTube. He's closing in on 100,000 subscribers. But he's a former executive in television. He's a former performer. I mean, this guy's done everything: writing, producing, directing, you name it. But he was a television executive for quite some period of time. And he said, I think in one of his comments, that you have a whole lot of people delivering zero emotion because they're all wearing helmets because of the weird cult of wear your helmet all the time. I mean, I get annoyed when superheroes and stuff take off their masks. They want a lot of FaceTime and all that. It's understandable. And a lot of times they've been able to get around that and it's acceptable. But you don't often see it, right? Well, in the case of Mando, you're not getting a lot of delivery. And you just covered up one of the best looking people there by not allowing Bo-Katan to remove her helmet now. So now you have Helmet the Show. I don't know. I just haven't been impressed with this season of Mandalorian. And I really hate the anchor that is Baby Yoda, Grogu, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah. Pinochet's Helicopter Tours, thank you again for that, my friend. For $5 says, need to do better tying communism to actual communists. That is the whole that is the whole of anyone on the left, not liberals, the left, the ideologies. Yeah, the leftists now, the extremists on the edge that are running things at the moment are clearly, they're split between socialists and communists, but they all arrive at the end of the thing. It all has the same end, folks, an authoritarian government that wants to control your every move. And they want to align with all these other countries that are supposedly going to align along these factions. I don't want to be a serf, and I don't think you guys do either. Individual freedom and liberty has to be protected at every step, and continuing to surrender your liberties and freedoms is not a good thing. Let's see. Didn't Picard die? Yeah, let me tell you. This latest episode created a new level of frustration for me. And if I am on the Salty Nerd podcast on Saturday, or if I get invited on a show that's talking about Picard, you're going to hear me talk specifically about it with no holds barred. But not enough people have seen the show, this particular episode, so I will not spoil it for anybody because that's not the way I do. Stunt Brat asks a great question. Now, we don't usually do this, but since we're on bonus time, I will talk about this a little bit. When you have, and this is a complete catastrophic failure of foreign policy for this current administration, where you have Putin and Z meeting and basically setting in stone their alignment with each other. We've seen this before in history. This isn't a good thing. You have actions, provocative and otherwise, being taken. You're looking at a hardliner, former KGB person trying to reestablish the borders of the former country. He wouldn't have taken the kinds of provocative actions he has if it weren't for particular governmental treaties organization known as the North American Treaty Organization, who took provocative actions themselves. So as the significant population of that particular country, in order to maintain their sovereignty that they feel is threatened, they have to reclaim territories and borders, they believe, in order to maintain their sovereignty and stay away from a lot of the political junk we're suffering from here in the West. Of course, they're doing so under their own version of a dictator, as is China, But yeah, we have a problem now, and I'm proud of what the Dutch farmers have been able to do recently. Significant change maybe for their government, and they're going to have to work with those farmers and knock out this ridiculousness of being able to feed people and make money, and the seizure of farms. That is, let me tell you, that's what drove this whole thing. We know what you're trying to do, starve out us and everybody else. We're not going to let you do it. So there you are. The Batcap says my 21-year-old son and I are arguing about Mando. He says I'm old and jaded, and I'm telling they will come for something he really cares about. To be young. Yeah, not old and jaded. I think just paying attention. There has to be a light at the end of this tunnel. Yeah, there is. A Picard is gruel peppered with nostalgic raisins. Ooh, oh. Thank you for that descriptive one-man show. I'd like to kind of talk, maybe if I'd seen the whole season, because a lot of the people who have such a favorable review of this current season of Picard have already seen the full thing. And maybe if I had seen the whole thing, like been able to binge it, I'd have a different opinion. But right now, not so much. And again, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I'm not going to. I'm just going to say that's basically what season 4 of Picard has been. Lots of nostalgia, member berries, whatever you want to call it. So, hey, KRNet82 is here. You guys are great. Hey, the weatherman is here. What's up? Would that be Uncle Bob Iger, the weatherman? Greenland's like, can I have a congressional metal tool? Yeah, of course you can. Write something that's widely rejected, deeply divisive, and peppered with, modern audience garbage, and I'm sure you'll get invited to the White House. It'd be amazing. We got another super chat from our good friend Eric K. The amazing mod for $2 says something ridiculous. Confirmed. Culture hates babies. Well, babies aren't usually 50 years old. And no, I don't hate babies. I love babies. They're awesome. But thank you for the $2 super chat, my friend. Katie Sackoff. Yes, thank you. Buying a new gun this weekend. Good for you, Lord Squirrels Gaming. Awesome, my friend. The weed of communism produces no fruit. Indeed, James Ritter. Indeed. Look at you guys. China and Russia have been tight for decades. Sort of. They've been reliant on each other. Is probably the most real. Up until recently, they've been just reliant on each other. Now they're very tight, but very, very reliant on each other now. And they have to be. Pretty soon, China's going to have to self-isolate in order to survive. They are going to be cut off from the rest of the world after making so many gains. You're going to start to see disputes over land ownership in foreign countries, et cetera, et cetera. The reason they did what they did and loaned governments that couldn't possibly afford to pay them back money to build ports and things like that so that they could get a foothold in some countries where they can control some of the shipping and things like that. There's a whole big discussion to be talking about geopolitical stuff here. What's up, Jerry Mendoza? Good to see you, my friend. So, yeah, the Dutch election definitely made things interesting. I have a lot of insight. We have some wonderful humans here that are in that country that have sent me some wonderful information, which I have consumed. And sometimes I have to translate it so I could do it. But yeah, I want to pop back into this Disney thing real quick because we were talking about this person specifically, but it's much broader, much broader than her, than Victoria Alonso, who was fired. They're almost essentially telling you that now. Of course, many of you already know if you follow certain parties here on YouTube, Rumble, et cetera, that you've already kind of had some insight on that. So, yeah. What's up, Jason? You guys haven't checked out Sci-Fi from ETV. He's criminally undersubbed. That channel's been around for many, many years and hasn't made the kind of headway they need to, even though, let me tell you, they've had great interviews on there. Really legitimate stars and stuff. Not to mention the fact they do wonderful commentary shows. It's operated professionally like a television studio. It's very good. Jason does a good job over there with his staff. He's also old and jaded, so am I. But getting back to this, look, Disney's going to lay off people. We talked a little bit about this in the 6 Minute Daily yesterday. We talked a little bit about it today in the 6 Minute part of this show with 80 of you in here. If you haven't hit the like button, please do so. If you're on any of the other platforms, whether it be Rumble or Odysee or Twitter, do the same thing. Whatever the thumbs up button, the check mark button, whatever it is, hit that thing and give me some love. It really does help. And I think there's a way to do Rumble rants. I don't know. I think so. I think I know I'm monetized on Rumble, but anyway. Disney layoff rounds likely starting before the annual meeting. Well, that's soon. Why? Because the meeting's April 3rd, like I said before. So you're gonna see massive job cuts. They already promised 4,000 before this meeting. All right. So that's the first part of a bloodbath. But wait, there's more, because there'll be 3,000 more people leaving after this meeting. That is going to be to the bone. And I think, like many people have spoken about, including Cameron Pasha over on Midnight's Edge, which I would watch that video if I were you. It was very good. I need to finish it. But there will be big fish fried for this. There's no doubt about it. But these layoffs are for real. A lot of snippets have gone out into the public via ridiculous press statements made to people. But this has been coming. They asked the managers for their list of cuts going back a ways. And these are going to hit pretty hard. You're going to see a lot of make work positions not working anymore, being eliminated. They're not hiring anybody else for positions, absent perhaps maybe staffing for theme parks and resorts where they need them. But for the most part, you're going to go with positions unfilled. There will be hardships here. And I would estimate that a lot of those jobs are going to come out of Burbank. That's a lot of people. And again, it's not just going to be Lucasfilm, not going to be just the Marvel folks. It's going to be everybody. They've had catastrophic failures in cinematic releases. So you do the math. Yeah. Yeah, the Dutch bailed out and stood for freedom. Indeed. Let's see. Some 50-year-olds act like babies. That's very true. That's very true. We're seeing in real time, like, the narratives around some of these things collapsing. Like, I made an allusion to the indictment process that's going on right now and the exculpatory information that was withheld from the grand jury. We'll have to see where that lands. So yeah, Mitch is not exactly a great dude. He also seems to have suffered a bump on the head. To see what goes on there. And Sci-Fi for Me TV will be talking to Cameron Pasha about Disney and Lucasfilm today. Good segue, Jason. Well done. Do check that out, folks. I'm not kidding. Sci-Fi for Me TV, great stuff. Great financial minds on there. When they do that, they do their money talk. They do great stuff. And it's seriously professionally produced. Jason works really hard over there. Darren says, howdy culture and all, greetings to you on the Rumble side. Hillis Mallory will get to your super chat right now. It says chances on Disney moving out of Cali. Well, they were trying to. Yeah, again, there will be a video out today, I hope, if Grant can get it edited, that talks a little bit about this. They've been trying to do that. They hit the pause button because they didn't want the whiny employees that they were having to deal with to have more fodder to attack them with. But this was always going to happen. Lake Nona area was going to expand. They had made a significant investment there. They were just about to start on some stuff going vertical there. They had some secret development plans for some studio expansion in Florida, which I'm not sure how secret those are anymore. but they were going to bring more and more people to Florida from California. That was the plan. California has been very anti-corporation, and they've been very punishing to entities like Disney, even making it almost impossible for them to reopen their theme park in California when Florida opened up very quickly. Channel Surf, thanks for joining us on Rumble, my friend. Chances of Disney moving out of Cali, I don't know. It could happen under the right leadership. I think it may happen, and it would be just another massive enterprise leaving California in favor of less confiscatory practices. And that's really what, Comrade Newsom is doing there. I mean, you can't argue it. Nobody's going to do business in California or New York. People are actively leaving there. I think Elon's going to move Twitter out of California. I think he's going to put the primary somewhere else and slowly wean his employees out of that, San Francisco area. There's no advantage in California anymore. Outside of the climate, and the beauty of that state, which is being ruined every day by, the policies there with the massive unaddressed homeless problem, the open drug use, and all the other things that they do. They're ignoring crimes. This is a state that put mandatory minimums and 3 strikes you're out policies into place. They don't abide by any of them. It's insane. So chances, I don't know. There are some. Hard to say. No, for those of you on YouTube or Twitter or Odysee, stay where you are. I appreciate those of you supporting on Rumble, though. It does help me get Rumble numbers up, and I think Rumble's going to be a platform where we can speak freely. And I think you're right here, Elizabeth. I think we're watching a company completely collapse in real time. I think we're watching a lot of them do that. It's sad, but a little amusing, too. I think, if there's any kick save available here, Iger will do it, even if it compromises his political beliefs, because he's got to preserve his legacy. And you're going to start hearing about that conversation because he wanted to go out with a bang. But somebody else started a bang in 2019, and he knew what was about to happen. So he bailed out of Disney, at least out of the front office gig, putting another in place that he wasn't super thrilled with in Bob Chapek, except behind the scenes, he still controlled the reins of the company. He never really went away, and he's even indicated as much now. So it was kind of a sham for the 7 months that Chapek got to actually run the company and was headed in the same direction. Everything that Iger's doing right now was something Chapek already planned on doing. Layoffs, etc. Although Chapek was going to lay off fewer people. It is what it is. Furry Kitten, thank you for doubling down. I appreciate that. Time Prophet, what's going on? Says, believes that the Loch Ness monster is real. He didn't like it when I told him that it was invented for gullible Americans who visit Scotland. A lot of people are willing to look at evidence differently. So I won't attack other people. It's not the way I'm wired. No, I will not try to start a business in Los Angeles. That's folly. And John Cipolla left New Jersey for the same reasons we're talking about. You were seeing mass exodus from blue cities and blue states. And I hate to say it that way. I mean, there are plenty of good humans that I love that are in these states. I mean, family and friends in New York, family and friends in California. But you can't not point at those areas and say you stopped caring about crime. Now you're crime riddled. You put in these Soros elected DAs and all this other shit. I just cursed on my channel, by the way, which I don't do. And here you are. You are left with what you're left with. So, Mr. Wonderful Kevin O'Leary says CA California is uninvestable. He does. New York, California, he's not wrong. Everything California does is antithetical to business. Hank VP is in the house. Good to see you. Well, there is a worker pool advantage. They have a huge population. That's true, except that it's shrinking. What state can afford to lose that much representation? 350,000 people. You're going to get more. You're going to lose influence in DC. You're going to lose influence in the world. Still a huge economy. Yeah, and I love California. I mean, for various reasons, and someday we can talk all about them. But you know, I always speak fondly of my summers because my Southern California experiences were incredible. Northern California I could hit or miss. I love, and that's just it's another state where you have so many different microclimates that you can experience in the matter of just a few hours drive. It's frustrating. Let's see. Well, here's the problem, right? Unless you're allowing people that are illegally present to vote, which you aren't supposed to by not only the state constitution but by the national constitution of the United States, the supreme law of the land, then you're not going to have those people really because they don't have legal presence. And that's the other thing that needs to change. We need to acknowledge whether or not somebody has legal presence. We need to go back to not obfuscating through language whether or not someone is here legally or not. But like I said, I have things to look forward to. I'd like to get to some of those things. But like I said, I mean, just very quickly, BloodBath is coming. So Disney's going to lose not just those 7,000 people, but I think considerably more. Hey, what's up, Daniel Hall? Good to see you, my friend. Elizabeth Young, I was born in SoCal, fell in love with San Fran, but I also love it here in PA, Philly Metro. Wow, cool. Our good friend Eric K says California will not lose any population officially if the census keeps miscounting, by the way, only done in blue states. Yeah, I know. But you guys are losing it. And we're going to have to go back to individual counts, not estimations, which again was pushed forward by one political party. So thank you for joining us over here, Mr. DFP. This is the 1970s on repeat. Inflation strikes, crime-ridden inner cities. Yes. And furry kittens over there. A lot of people over there now. Thanks for jumping in on Rumble as well. I really do appreciate it. Let's see. Let's see what else is happening. Well, this is a weird thing, right? They're so against IDs here, but there's no other country in the world you can do almost anything, let alone work, buy something, whatever, like land or anything, without showing ID. They aren't letting you do that there without proper paperwork and ID. And if you're not a citizen in certain countries, you can't work at all. And if an employer's caught allowing you to work, they're in big trouble. Big trouble. Pretty ridiculous. So, all right, let's talk something fun. How about that? Because we're coming in on almost an hour of showtime. I mentioned this during the 6 minute, and I brought up some stories in the 6 minute that I wanted to talk about. This is one of them. John Wick 4 had a huge runtime when it first was cut. 3 hours, 45 minutes, nearly 4 hours. And the reaction there, that's going to be, this is too long. And that would have been too long. But even at 3 hours now, everybody that's seen this film has raved about it. And I can understand that. I can't wait to see it. I'll be seeing it a little bit later today. And I anticipate I'll be doing a review immediately out of the theater. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that. But I've been looking forward to it. So 2 hours and 50 minutes, nonstop set pieces, frenetic, visceral. These are all words you want to see in a movie review, right? This is going to be a superpowered adventure on steroids. But I'm very stoked. Apparently, it has been weaned down to just what you need in a film. So I'm very excited. Very excited indeed. This is too long. It shall to your barbers with your beard. That's right. And that's what they did. They really did cut it down to its tight and curlies. So it'll be good. It'll be good. Elizabeth Young says, wine. I want to see it. I've seen the first one. The doggy danger in the first one didn't sit well with me. No, not a big fan of that. I always skip that part. Neither the boss nor I tolerate that. Time Prophet's not keen to see it. Yeah. All action but little or no story. I don't think I've taken that away from anybody I've talked to who's seen it. I think I've taken away there's plenty there. Lots of story. And it's just filled with action because of that. Dearest, what's up? Says CA is one of the most expensive state IDs in the nation. It's at least $100. They are blue run and they say IDs are racist. MI state IDs are free. I didn't know that. Interesting. Michigan. Yeah. That Snyder cut length. Yeah, that would have been crazy. Good question, Christopher Dominguez. Will I be doing some Rumble exclusive streams? I think so. I may even be doing some Rumble exclusive videos in the near future. They deserve my support. I would like to have their support, and I'd like to have as many people support me over there as possible, because I think it is a platform set for growth and an opportunity not to be shut down when I teeter towards the edge of something that somebody might consider controversial. But yeah. Let's see. Furry Kitten actually points out that in the country that they're in, a 40,000 euro fine per illegal employed over there. Yep. Yeah, it's insane. Furry Kitten, frenetic and visceral. I'm getting a John Carpenter semi. Yes, I think a lot of people are. I'm pretty stoked for this film. I imagine they will release an extended cut, which is a comment from Channel Surf on Rumble. Never really been into the Wick series. Well, I think you'll be surprised. And Jim Watari says, is John Wick 5 still happening, or did they merge 5 and 4? From what I understand, they put two scripts together, what could have been two separate films, into this one. And according to Stalinsky, there wasn't a lot of planning that went into the length of the cut initially, so that's why it ended up being so long initially with the first cut. But they got it. Like I said, it's pretty tight for 3 hours. So I'm stoked. I don't know about anybody else, but yeah. So it is rumored that they did merge two scripts. Maybe that's a boon. Since we just lost Lance. He passed away untimely. So that dude was so healthy, you can't imagine that he would leave the planet this early. But hey, people are suddenly leaving the planet right now. Pinochet's Helicopter Tours for $2 says, release the 345 Wick cut, license to print money. Indeed. In fact, I would do that. What I would do is I would release this film and then 3 months later release the extended version in theaters. See what happens. Just don't try to compete with what Tom Cruise is going to do with Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1. I think you're not going to be able to compete with that film. I think that thing's going to run everything out of the box office. And 6 says, hashtag boner time. That's right. There, see? Eric K. 6 got me to say it. You guys are going to end up clipping it, then it's fine. Have I seen Jesus Revolution yet? I have not. It is on my marked to see. About the movement here in Costa Mesa. Yep, in 60s, 70s. Kelsey Grammer rocked in it. Everything I've heard about this film is extraordinary. So I'm very stoked. Jim Watari is seeing it today. Excellent. Jim, you'll have to let me know what you think, my friend. I'm seeing it in just a few hours. I'm counting the time, actually. Really excited. Really excited. But it is good to see Six here. Hope she's got some sleep. Yeah, Lance Reddick was amazing in everything he's ever been in. He was in Fringe as Boyles. He's in a lot of stuff. Very talented actor. What's up, Grim? Otherwise known as In Theater. The Mission Impossible movies never really did it for me. And you know what? And up until like the last one, I would agree with you. The first one I thought was great, but we didn't have a basis of comparison at the time. Now we do. But I think, looking through the lens of history, I think that absent the one film that I thought was absolutely terrible, you're going to see Mission Impossible films in a different light going forward, because there are going to be things that stand out from the rest of entertainment, just like Top Gun Maverick did. Yeah. So. Oh, wow. Stuntbrat was actually in the Jesus movement. That's crazy. Went to Chuck Smith's tent back in the day. Great memories. I've been seeing a lot more revivals and things like that, believe it or not, here in the location I'm in or nearby, and also in adjoining states. We're starting to see return to, or people returning to faith. And that's honestly what a lot of people have been saying about the current environment, is that these people needed something to help guide their life, and they picked out an ideology that was terribly destructive. I don't know. Whatever your faith is, I'm not here to tout one over the other. I'm just going to say that film is on my list to see. So Teague is here for $2. Thank you for that. What's your favorite Adult Swim show? Well, it's really easy to answer that one. Aqua Teen Hunger Force. We even have Mazit Wazad join us here on the channel in the chat from time to time. But I watched a lot of stuff, including Milk Chan and a bunch of other things on Adult Swim. Was a very interesting period of time. Pretty sure that was on Adult Swim. But, I watched so many different cartoons way back then. You guys probably don't even know what Milk Chan was. I'm pretty old. There was a lot of good stuff at one point in time. It kind of felt like whenever I could catch Adult Swim, I would. A long time ago. Tenebrae says, Milk Chan, that brings me back. Yeah, I'm probably the only one that remembers that show. Shrap 3D says, I've not seen one, and MI, no reason, just haven't. Yeah, a lot of people haven't seen Mission Impossible films. There you go. Go Team Venture. There you go, Shrap 3D. Let's see. Who else is in the house? I know Milk Chan. Never saw it, though. Well, Willie, that is fine. I never heard of Adult Swim. Sounds like a prawn. No, it was basically just adult-oriented cartoons. Animation, I should say. Cartoons. Yeah. Robot Chicken. Yeah. Good. Six says, I miss my faith. A lot of people. Yeah. Holy cow, really? Stunt Brat? This was the last film you worked on. Huh? My last film was Mission Impossible 3, 2006. Wow. You're amazing. Furry Kittens in the Rumble chat saying, release the asteroid. I intend to poochie out of this world. I missed out on murder hornets, so doubling down on feral weasel swarms. You guys are so funny. Rumble's on fire over there. Yeah, Channel Surf did not like Mission Impossible 1. Jim Phelps a bad guy. Yeah, I didn't like that either. Why would you make Phelps a bad guy? Furry Kitten asks, do you find your beard does like mine does? It grows out a certain length and then it goes salt and pepper. Yes, that's exactly what my beard does. If I were to shave this down nice and tight, you wouldn't really notice the gray. Although my hair getting grayer and grayer. It's also this lighting. You have 5600K lighting, and really does bring out the gray, robs a lot of other colors out of your hair. But it is what it is. Not a Cruise fan? That's fine. What's up there, Robbie? Hope you're doing well. Release the McCracken. I think I saw Dark Shadow Logan in the house. Did I not? There's Dark Shadow Logan. Good to see you. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, Six. Now I will definitely watch. There you go, Six. Sci-fi's like, my beard's going white. Hey, what's up, Pilgrim Media? Good to see you. Thanks for the $2 super chat. Saying, hail, enjoy your weekend. I hope you enjoy your weekend. Thursday's a lot of fun. I love talking about this stuff. One last topic before we wrap it up. So we got a few more minutes here. Let's talk about something I think is rather important. And again, thank you for the $2 super chat, Pilgrim Media. And thank you, Olaf Von S, for gifting one Culture Casino membership. So you and Captain Fandom Nerd are going to make me have to revise the credits again, which is fine. Oh yeah, this is true. Incandescent light bulbs are being removed from the planet, I think in August, if that's what I remember correctly. We were talking about that the other day. So if you have sockets, lights that you would prefer to have incandescent bulbs, stock up on them. There you go. Thank you, Jason. I don't want to live cruise, but I can't help myself. There you go, Six. Thank you, Spider-Man No Way Home. Canadian Spider-Man, I mean. It's great to see you, man. I'm glad to see you every once in a while. I know you're busy. Why do they keep trying to make heroes into bad guys? See, it seems every franchise is doing this. Luke, Kirk, Phelps, Superman. They're doing their level best, my friend. Their level best. Pinochet's helicopter tours. Rick and Morty guy found innocent. How screwed is the company who fired him and went on an industry-wide smear campaign? Will he get vengeance? Screwed very much so. I think this is going to be one of those. I think this is going to be one of those times when a mea culpa is not going to do it. I think there will be financial recompense extracted. I think there will be severe consequences. And I think that anybody involved in calling that person out and defaming them, that will be an issue. I think somebody needs to do a video on that. I may work into one this weekend. We'll see. I'll try to get all the relevant details. Thank you for that, Pinochet's helicopter tours for $5. That is that's thought provoking. My goodness. Vengeance might be the right word, even. Jeez. Eesh. Yikes. Mutant Bam Hammer. Cruise's best film was Edge of Tomorrow. You get to watch him die over and over. Pilgrim Media for $2 says, I like my light at 5,300 Kelvin. Yep. Again, when once I'm able to open the back window behind me and get rid of the green screen for most of the shots that I do, and you know, have a nice background to look at for everybody, I won't need the severity of these lights. I can go to just basic flat panel key lighting. That should be fine. He's going to sue them for sure. Yes. What happens when I get a good idea? Says Frankie. I guess it'll be an LED bulb. There you go. I think you should still use the light bulb, Frankie. Good to see you, buddy. Keep it up, man. Rick and Morty guy needs to do a John Depp on their bums. I think you're going to see it happen. It's going to be bad. It'll be bad. Let's see. What's the movie series that Matt Damon, the Bourne franchise? Yeah. Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy, Bourne Other Words. Actually, you can probably blame Bourne on the decline of Bond, because they leaned heavily into what Bourne was doing at the time, shaky cam, stuff like that. It doesn't matter. They roasted him. They ran him through the coals. Innocent, charges dropped, same thing. Again, I'll have to do more research, but they're exposed now. Again, I mean, defamation in this case is easy to prove because there was a substantial financial penalty that was suffered by the creator. There's going to be there will be recompense. Floral, what's going on, my friend? Great to see you. Bourne Supremacy was flowers for Algernon with spycraft. Yes. Bourne was fine, but it really was the downfall of Bond. So, holy cow, Darren Hughes, big ol' super sticker, $10 super sticker. It's a little pair jumping up and down saying #1 fan. Well, thank you, Darren Hughes. I'm a big fan of yours. Thank you for the $10 super sticker, my friend. Snowdub, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Mr. DFP says, culture, do you think popular culture has stagnated for the last 20 years plus? Yes. And of course, I'm reading from Rumble chat right now, which you can't see because I can't highlight because StreamYard's not cooperating. But yes, I do think so. Darren says, I was never a Mission Impossible fan, but we'll go back and watch them. Let's see. Just the Tip 59 says, I switched to the uncensored chat, aka Jim Watari. Well, thanks for joining us on Rumble too, my friend. I appreciate that. Both places is great. You guys are incredible. Tuck and roll. That's right. All right, one last story. I promise. Let's get to it. I wanted to get this one because we didn't get to hit it very hard during the stream itself, during the actual 6-minute part of the stream. Let's go. Boom. Hollywood courts Wall Street's ESG investors, mainly with film and TV messages. In other words, please, BlackRock, send us more money that can't be traced, that just helps us make things that, like allows our deviancy to show through. Please. Look at that big Mickey head made out of solar panels, located in Florida. I wonder who's indicating they want that money. They want to give you more messaging in the vein of the ESG stuff. Give us that sweet Chinese control. That's what they want. Power. Hollywood wants to stay in the good graces of the big companies, the ESG investors. BlackRock, Blackstone, State Street. We can go on with the 6 big ones. Vanguard finally said, eat a bag of Cheetos. We're on my channel. I'm not going to curse. But $150 billion in annual eco-friendly investments. Sustainability has proven itself an opportunity through the content. Content, not this giant solar thing. Content. So on Spaceship Earth, the famous ride in Walt Disney World's Epcot Center, visitors are transported through humanity's greatest achievements, culminating with the projection of Earth in the vast expanse of space. You know what that ride's actually about? The advancement of communication and communication tools through our history. Do you know what that's only the apex of the ride is, where you see the Earth, which you're supposed to be in space. There was a space scene up there with an astronaut talking about global satellite communications and things like that. Then on the way back down, you go through a descent, which there's nothing there now. It's just black tunnel listening to Dane Judy Dench speaking about the future of things. Where you want to live in the future. So basically stole the idea from the end of the ride that used to be there called Horizons. Olaf Von S sends a $1 Rumble rant. Thank you, my friend. Hello, everyone. Got to support this platform too. Thank you for that, Olaf. I appreciate it. That's my first Rumble rant. Holy cow. Anyway, back very quickly. So the descent is now empty because the imagination stopped. I was asked a question over here by Mr. DFP, if pop culture had stagnated. Everything stagnated. Everything. We no longer dream big. Creativity was the forerunner to what eventually became the modern technology. Who was dreaming up the new things? Disney stopped. They stopped in this attraction. This attraction was supposed to continually evolve with the descent. You know, you're supposed to reach the apex at the top, where you have the Earth in front of you from space, and then descend through what the future technology was. Well, back then, when the descent was open and when the park was up and running, and since 1982, you got to see the advent of cellular communications. You got to see the face-to-face communications, like, you know, we use like FaceTime or even this, right? All of that was the precursor now. Well, all those things have been achieved. So people just stopped dreaming. People stopped innovating. People stopped creating the future. So yeah, we've stagnated. And they're trying to mischaracterize in this article from the Hollywood Reporter, which shouldn't surprise anybody. It's a shill trade mag. What this attraction was all about. So they talk about the 22-acre solar array that's actually somewhat adjacent to the Epcot area, which, you know, is basically a shape of Mickey ears. So Disney World's turn to renewable energy. No, they're not. They're largely still powered by the grid. Don't let them fool you. And the solar issues there are plentiful. That tiny little solar array wasn't anything. The first time they tried solar at Disney was actually on the Universe of Energy attraction. But do you know what they promoted inside that building? Oil. And they were right. Oil is a very plentiful energy source. And do you know why they changed that to Guardians of the Galaxy coaster? Because they couldn't imagine or defend future technology and energy. You know, there's a big problem with offset to all of this and the global consequences for the battery culture that they're trying to develop. Any form of EMP or solar flare could essentially wipe out everything. Imagine no fossil fuel. And again, that's a term they came up with to try to, the oil companies tried to enforce because it actually increased the idea of scarcity. Oil is the second most plentiful liquid on the planet, just so you know. Anyway, so it's big business to try to pursue these dollars to the tune of $157.3 billion in 2022, according to someone who would know, Morningstar. Every major public company in entertainment wants a piece of that pot. Even Fox Corp. Free money. Free money. Dangerous. Tender Warriors 68 gives 5 Culture Casino memberships. Thank you for that, my friend. We really appreciate it. Believe me, you guys are amazing. Amazing indeed. And yeah, By the way, Tenebra, thanks for following me on Rumble. And to everybody who's following on Rumble, thank you. I will look over. I have both chats up right now. If I could figure out how to make the Twitter thing work, hi Twitter, I would. Hey, Elon, you need to update the interface so that the creator side is a little easier to manage, because I think more people would put videos and live streams on your platform if it was a little easier to handle. Just FYI. Furry Kitten for $5 on the Rumble side. Thank you for the Rumble rant. CH2 bonds rule. Okay. Well, thank you for that. By the way, the Rumble rants are bright and they catch your attention. I love it. And Furry Kitten, you're awesome. Thank you for the support. And again, Tender Warriors 68, those 5 Culture Casino memberships. Appreciate it. Which means Barney Fife, Wabbit 7777, Grim Dark, Matt W, all became members, as well as HM. You guys are great. Thank you. And for those who just became members, member stream coming up. Probably not this weekend, probably next. But we'll get it. We'll get it done. And then we're going to do a high roller stream. That'll be fun too. Did we reach 100? Yes. Thank you all. The 74 of you here on YouTube, the many of you over on Rumble, and wow, I'm flabbergasted. Thank you for the support, everybody. It's wonderful. You guys are incredible. I appreciate it. There is no such thing as free money or free anything. That is correct. No, they expect payment in the form of fealty. That's what you get with ESG. ESG support means that you are willing to provide fealty and bow to the notion of these ideas that are really more about control than anything else. EVs and auto-driving cars are ideas way ahead of their time. They are. They're still not reliable. You still have a number of crashes every year with any kind of auto-drive technology. And I watched a video yesterday that I didn't share, probably should have, of a whole boatload of electric vehicles being shipped across the ocean, being splashed with salt water. And one of those vehicles caught fire. Not sure why. And then all of them catching fire on the deck of the boat that they're being shipped on to, the country, the destination. Not good. Sci-Fi for Me is starting their stream with Cameron Pasha, which means we're going to draw to a close. Let me get these things together as we exit. We've got Pinochet's helicopter tours for $5 saying California is trying to push the media cartel bill that failed in Congress. Yes, I know. California is trying to control the people outside of California. Fascists. Yeah. That's actually the definition of fascism. We have a weird form of corporate fascism here in the United States that is essentially trying to control the political wheels, which is why I think the government's finally starting to push back on the monopolies. California is not going to be able to do this. You can't violate another state that way. They'll try to argue full faith and credit, which will essentially means that you have to accept another state's driver's license, et cetera, for the ability to drive in that particular state. We'll have to see. Yeah, this might push the bounds of any idea of that. But on that note, for those of you who are mods in the chat, do me a favor and please link to our good friend Sci-Fi for Me TV. My goodness, 6 is right on top of it. Look at her go. One of the best mods out there. Thank you for that. Guys, go check this out. Interview with Cameron Pasha. It will be worth your time. I hope to see all of you later on the H-Cast on Mr. H Reviews channel, hopefully after Jason is done. And then I will be seeing John Wick 4. So anticipate a review video, if not today or tonight, tomorrow. Maybe in the morning, like 4 a.m. or something. That seems to wake people up. I appreciate each and every one of you. OC Dobbins, it's great to see you, my friend. For those of you who contributed memberships and super chats and Rumble rants, you're the best. And if anything was happening on Twitter, I wish I knew how to see it. Somebody tell me how to make this happen. I'm going to start streaming to 5 platforms. I don't care. Maybe I'll stream over on mine. So we'll see. I don't know. Good times. Anyway, I hope everybody has a great day. I'm going to end the show like it would normally end a 6-minute daily, which means we'll run the credits one more time. And at the very end, I'll say see you. And then if you stick around to the end on YouTube, it'll automatically redirect you to tomorrow's show. So here we go. Thank you all. Look at these amazing human beings. Look at this. Look at this. So blessed. Keck 44 says, bye. Stream to Twitch before Amazon shuts it down forever. Yeah, Twitch is becoming a ghost town. You got 15 likes over on Rumble. For those of you who want to pop over there and give this stream some love, I will appreciate it. Thank you very much, Willie. I miss you, dude. Maestro's out there. Good to see you. The very lovely Stunt Brat. We have a lot of people that work or used to work in the industry that watch us, and I appreciate all of them. There you go, Hillis. Have a great day, everybody. See ya. Oh, wait. Don't forget about Comics Divisions. Thursday Night Throwdown. That's going to be fun. We're going to talk about John Wick 4.